Share with you the most cost-effective way to improve your margins and increase your ROAS with retargeting on Meta. I will explain why retargeting is essential in e-com. I will share with you which retargeting timeframes and pools you should create. I will also show you how to set up custom audiences on Meta Ads Business Manager so you can launch your first retargeting campaign yourself. This video is for anyone running top of the funnel campaigns and looking to improve profitability. By the end of this video, you will be able to create custom audiences for retargeting. You will be able to warm up cold traffic and improve conversion rate. Retargeting is essential in e-com because it's one of the most important aspects of having a successful online advertising strategy. It's actually the only form of advertising that gives you the best bang for your buck, meaning that it gives you the highest ROAS since it's very cheap compared to cold traffic campaigns. Retargeting is very important because potential customers, they need warm up in the form of retargeting ads to convert. There have been several studies that suggest that it takes on average 7 times for an ad to be seen by a potential customer before they convert, and this is exactly where retargeting ads come in. Retargeting CPMs are 2 to 3 times cheaper than cold traffic CPMs, and this alone should be enough to convince you to invest money into retargeting. You should never think about it as lost money. It's probably the best money you could ever spend in your online advertising journey because it's very easy to generate results with retargeting ads since the CPMs are very low, the reach is very high, which increases the odds of you converting those people that did not convert the first time. And as a result of that, ads have the highest ROAS. So on average, you can expect a ROAS of at least 3x. Ideally, you would want to shoot for 4 to 5x ROAS on a retargeting campaign. And it's extremely powerful when combined with an organic traffic strategy. The reason being is that when you drive cold traffic through an organic marketing strategy, you get a lot of cold traffic which does not convert the first time they visit your website. Retargeting is really your opportunity to show yourself again on your customers' Facebook feeds and have the best chances at presenting your product, what value it can provide to your customers, and then just being shown to them every time they open up their Facebook and increase your odds of closing the sale. So now we're going to dive into which retargeting timeframes you should create. The retargeting time frame you pick depends on several things. First of all, it depends on the price of your product. The higher the price of your product, the longer you need to retarget. This makes sense because it takes more time for people to buy a more expensive product compared to a cheaper one. May just involve an impulse decision on the customer's end, and more times than not that requires very little time for them to pull the trigger. Whereas if you were selling mid-ticket to high-ticket items, it takes more time for the potential prospect to evaluate whether or not that is the best option for them in the market. And if that's the case, then eventually they end up buying. But if it's not, it's going to take more retargeting budget for you to invest into them to eventually convert them. It also depends on your industry's average conversion time. You have to figure out what this number is. And this depends again on your industry, what type of industry you're in. Some industries, they have much higher conversion time windows. Other industries, they have lower ones. Depending on what industry you are involved in, you should figure this out and then make a decision based on the data you have, whether or not you should opt for longer time frames or shorter ones when it comes to your retargeting strategy on Meta. It also depends on your budget. So the bigger your budget, the more you can afford retargeting longer time frames. Let's say, for example, you retarget up to 180 days worth of visitors data, then that would cost you much more budget to retarget all of those visitors that visited your website in the last 80 days compared to, let's say, the last 7 days. Again, it depends on your budget. If you can afford it, then by all means go for the longer time frame. It also depends on your brand strength and history. The more established your brand is, the less you need to retarget potential customers. Let's say, for example, your BMW, you don't really need to retarget customers because customers are clearly aware of the value you are providing to the marketplace and what makes you a leader in your field. Whereas if you're just getting started with a brand that has no recognition whatsoever, that has not built the awareness and is not established in the market yet, then it makes all the sense in the world to put significant means into retargeting ads for the sole purpose of increasing brand awareness. So the bigger the brand awareness, the more people are likely to convert. The most common retargeting timeframes are the last 7 days, the last 30 days, last 90 days, and last 180 days. And the most common audience pools are website visitors, or visitors by time spent, Instagram page visitors, DM senders, profile engagers, post savers, etc. There's so many audiences you can extract from your Instagram page alone. To cart, initiate checkout, and purchase. And what you guys have to keep in mind is that you should always make sure to exclude visitors who purchased already from your store. The reason being is you do not want to show the same product your customers have bought from you already on their Facebook feed. Now, what you can do to bypass this issue is you can, for example, create an audience of people who have already purchased a product and then show them an upsell on their Facebook feed as a retargeting ad. That is one of the scenarios where you can retarget people that have already bought from your store, because since they have already made a decision and purchased from your store, they are much more likely to end up buying a complimentary product or an upsell after seeing it being presented to them as a retargeting ad on their Facebook feed. Another very important thing I wanted to mention with you guys is, let's say you have a $10,000 overall advertising budget that you spend on a monthly basis on Meta. You should always shoot for anywhere between 20 to 30% of that budget being allocated to retargeting. This is the sweet spot you want to be in when it comes to retargeting. A lot of times people do not know how much exactly they need to invest on retargeting. So this is a good range that you should be looking for. And of course, it depends on your total advertising budget. If you have a $100,000 monthly advertising budget, then your ideal monthly retargeting budget should be anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000. Now guys, I'm gonna show you how to go about creating custom audiences for retargeting purposes on Meta. So first of all, you wanna go to the audience section of your Facebook Business Manager. Once you land on this page, you should click on Create Audience, then select Custom Audience. Now we are going to create website-based custom audiences for retargeting purposes on Meta. Make sure you click on Website, click Next. Make sure you select the correct pixel here, and then here we make sure that the right section is selected. In this case, we want to select all website visitors. And then, depending on what time frame you would want to retarget, you fill out the correct number here. So we're going to keep it 30 days, and we're going to call it CA, as in custom audience, last 30 days. WV, as in website visitors, last 30 days. Then click Create Audience. Okay, now the audience is being created. Bear in mind that it takes time for the audience to be populated, and you cannot use it immediately. It takes a couple hours for it to gather data. Only once it's ready, then you can start using it to retarget people. Once this is over, we can create another custom audience. We select Website again, click Next. This time we're going to select a longer time frame. Let's say we decide to pick 90 days, so CA, WV, last 90 days. Create audience. Done. Now we're going to create another different type of custom audience. So this time we're going to go for same website, but this time we're going to select visitors by time spent. So this way we make sure that we retarget the most serious visitors, who are typically the ones that spend the most time. The more time a visitor spends on your website, the more serious he is about purchasing from your store. So we're going to select 25% percentile for 30 days, CA, visitors by time spent, 25%, last 30. Create audience. You're going to create another one, same website, next. Visitors by time spent. This time we're going to go for 10%. CA, time spent, 10%, last 30 days. We're going to create one last one for this one here. Okay, visitors by time spent. Now we're picking the 5%, same 30 days, so CA, VBTS 5%, last 30 days. Done. So now we are going to create another different type of audience. This time it's going to be based on the view content pixel event for the last 30 days. So CAVC for view content last 30 days. Okay. Same, create another audience. Next. View content. Let's pick another audience retention time. CAVC last 90 days. Create audience. Perfect. Now we're going to create add to cart retargeting audiences. So we're going to go ahead and select add to cart. Keep the same audience retention time, which is 30 days here. CA add to cart last 30 days. Create audience. Now we're going to create an initiate checkout based custom audience. So what you want to bear in mind, guys, is that the further down you go through the funnel, the closer you get to the purchase event, the warmer the prospects are, and the easier it's going to be for the retargeting ads that you are going to launch to convert these prospects. Here we are going to be targeting the initiate checkout event. So these are some of the most likely visitors to convert. So CAIC for initiate checkout last 30 days. Done. And now we're going to create a purchase-based custom audience for people that have already placed an order on your website. So we're going to pick purchase last 30 days, CA per last 30 days. Typically this type of audience you want to use to upsell people that have already bought from your store. It's a very good tip that I'm sharing with you guys, and a lot of people overlook this. There's a lot of money that you can still make from people that have already purchased from your store, and this is the best money that you can spend advertising wise to extract as much money as possible from your customers. So now we're going to create another custom audience, and this time it's going to be based on your Instagram account. To make sure that you get the highest quality audiences related to your Instagram account, you should have a very good Instagram presence with a lot of engagement and high quality followers, high quality interactions on Instagram, because the higher the quality of those interactions and the engagement, the better, the stronger your audiences are going to be, which as a result of that, you're going to be able to get a higher ROAS with your retargeting ads. So here you pick the right page for your business. And then here you have various options of people that have engaged with your Instagram page in different ways. You have up to 6 options. You should always test out all of those options because you never know which one is going to outperform the rest. With advertising, it's always about testing and testing. It's up to you to figure out which audience works out best for you. And the only way to do that is to test all of them here. Let's pick everyone who engaged with this professional account, and let's pick a 30-day time frame. CA Instagram engagers last 30 days. Create audience. Now it's done. What we can do again is we can create one more Instagram-based audience. Let's say this time we want to target people that have DM'd our Instagram account. So we pick this option here. We select 30 days, CAIG, DMers. I call this audience DMers, last 30 days. Perfect. So now we are gonna create a video-based retargeting audience. So we pick video. Then we select either one of these options here. Let's pick 50%. Then you give it a name and you click create audience. I've just showed you guys the exact process to create retargeting audiences on Meta ads. So you can see here that the audiences are populating. It's going to take a couple hours for them to be ready for use and for you to leverage them to retarget your first-time website visitors on your Shopify store. So once an audience is ready, you can go ahead and use it for retargeting purposes. You can do this for all of these audiences here and figure out which one works best once you see that particular retargeting pool or retargeting time frame outperforms all the other ones, then you can allocate more budget towards that particular pool or retargeting time frame. Hope you guys benefited from this video. I hope you found it valuable, and if you like the content, please leave me a comment down below in the comment section, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.